What's going on, folks? It's Jay here. Me and D are back for another brand new movie review. I gotta ask, man. December has been a busy month for studios, hasn't it? It's just so many movies flying back and forth. It's ridiculous.
I just more because of scheduling. You know, we've been seeing scheduling not just change in like certain months, but it's like, well, I don't know. At least it felt like this year and in a little bit of the year previous. Movie studios have been paying attention to release dates differently.
Yeah.
Just because, we can speak in terms of Disney. They know when their money's coming. And if you're a big, and like you said before, if you're a big movie that's coming out that either is hinging its bets on, we spent $500 million on this, we better see $500 million back.
Yeah.
So we don't want to have that go against a Star Wars or any fucking Disney movie was at the time. That's including Marvel movies too.
Yeah.
So of course there are people going to move the shit around. I believe that's kind of been done like for the past decade, man. I don't remember hearing it as kids, and when I say us as kids, I'm talking about early 2000s of movies moving dates.
Yeah.
I don't know when that became a thing, but in the last 2 years, this year too, we've been hearing about it.
Yeah.
No matter how small the movie, we've been hearing that.
Yeah,
so,
we've talked about that. I mean, I think when we just recently, and I hope you guys listened to it, when we did the Lethal Weapons, all 4 movies and stuff. You know, we had talked about the box office during the time those movies came out and how there were like heavy hitter movies that were surrounding the Lethal Weapon movies, and everybody was still making money.
Yeah, but you see, that's the funny thing. I think back in the 90s and 80s, you had that benefit of having there being a big weekend and everybody going to the movie theater.
Yeah.
Let's just be real with technology. Not so many people are doing that now. Everybody's going to be hinting their bets on what's the better movie. And that's why people tune into people like us, to the big critics and all the rest of that, just to know, do I go to the movie theater or not? Notice that when we do reviews, we say either save your money or go if you ain't got nothing to do, or please go see that movie because you have to see it on the big screen.
Yeah.
We say different things, at least to give you an idea of what you should and should not do on that thing.
Yeah.
So of course, it's funny. Critics, and as much as some of us critics hate it, Metacritic and Rotten Tomatoes have become very important to how people just go to the movie. To go to the movies. It's kind of funny, and I say because we don't work for them niggas. It's funny how Rotten Tomatoes wanted us and many critics to be on board with Rotten Tomatoes
to be part of the grading score for stuff.
Here's the funny thing. It's a comment very much, and it's a combination of thank you very much and followed by y'all are some trash. It's like put it this way. I don't think it's IMDb bad because IMDb bad.
Look. That is the Reddit of movie reviews.
That is the YouTube comment section of movies, man. It's really hard to really tell what's a good. I want to say that now. Let's just be honest. Eventually the score is going to average out, but
the ranking system is just jank on that fucking site.
Before, I'll never forget, and this is the reason why I still kind of have a chip on my shoulder when it comes to Disney fans. Not Disney fans, Marvel fanboys. The reason why I have a chip on my shoulder, I will never forget. And granted, you can say whatever you want about the score now, but I remember before the movie even came out of Batman vs. Superman, they gave it a 1 out of like 10, and it was really like one of the major places that were like, oh, this movie sucks. Before even previews went out. It was amazing, man.
Yeah, it just jumped the gun. Now, here's the thing. This is in this post-Zack Snyder world that DC is moving away from, and I'll let D speak on it because it was something that he mentioned. We were talking about it, but Aquaman is kind of like DC's way of trying to move away from the vision of Zack Snyder and his polarizing kind of viewpoint, which, I mean, I think you said there were certain things with Zack Snyder where he was going for. I just felt the execution was just like, what the fuck was that?
Oh, it was terrible.
Yeah.
It was terrible. I remember when we, I think it's year 3, maybe year 4 of us recording Three Black Geeks, and we got to I think it was Sucker Punch,
Yeah.
and we actually finally watched it, and we all said the same thing. This dude has an incredible vision. Like his vision, the way he sets stuff up, the way you can understand the world he is amazing. Everything else is garbage.
Yeah.
The dialogue's garbage. The fucking story is garbage. And I do not say this is his fault, but because his story is so shit, the pacing sucks.
This is why I look at people like you, where we're like, you guys really want that Snyder Cut of Justice League? Because I don't want it.
Oh, don't look at me. Don't look at me. I said it to be funny.
No. I'm with you where I'm like, do you guys really want that? I don't want that shit. Fuck, I don't want that at all.
As much as I legit enjoy Justice League, I do not want to see the Snyder version of that.
Because Justice League was already a puzzle piece of Zack Snyder and Josh Whedon together, and it was just like, huh.
We know what we rated it last year. Real talk. Justice League is about a 7 out of 10, all right?
That's about right.
So, let's just be real. If Zack Snyder had a hand in that, oh my God, I'm not even joking. I think that would have been a 4. And us trying to push it to a 5.
Hey, look, I would have been me fucking. It would have been me and you copping, please. Like, I mean, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't BVS, and then you'd be like, "Stop it, Chris! Stop it."
That's what I'm saying. Here's the thing about it that always sucks to me. It proved a lot of the people who are sick of DC fanboys right, and that's what pisses me off because I always loved how DC can paint a darker world, a grittier world, and make it work. Here's the problem about that key word I used at the end, make it work. If you can't make that dark, gritty world work, you look like a white man's fantasy, power fantasy at the end. You're like, oh, there's no justice in the world. It's only me. You've seen Sin City.
Oh, yeah.
City, for what it is nice.
It worked, though, because it's Frank Miller. He's fucking batshit crazy.
Yeah, I was saying, Sin City 2 is what it is. Sin City 2, yes, that makes sense.
That's definition of Sin City 2 is definition of cash grab, dog. Even I saw that shit.
I said that wrong. Sin City 1, pretty good. Sin City 2, the definition of why I fucking...
Oh, did you say that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's the definition of why I hate Frank Miller. That...
Because they gave him, it was like the spirit where it was like, all right, Frank, we'll let you write Sin City 2 however you want it. And I'm like, that is a bad idea.
It's amazing how in the comic book world he flexes off of 3 books, and it's funny how in the movie world, really off of 1 movie, if you ask my opinion, which was on what's the face on 300. I don't want to give him RoboCop, because I know he had something to do with the writing of that, so I'm not even going to throw too much at that.
Look, me and Eris met the guy that was Cop. Yeah, that looked like they really kind of made Frank Miller like, hey, Frank, just sit down and collect the check. We got this.
That's really what it looked like. But like I said, I'm not even going to throw the stones at Frank for that. But it's like 300. That was the pinnacle of what you're going to get of Frank. This gritty story, and it worked. Let's just be real, it worked. I think next year, 3 Black Geeks, we're going to do 300, but there's a saying that worked for him. You can't make that. If you can't make a dark story work at me, and don't do it at all. Just don't. It's hard. That's why I'm fearing The Crow coming out, because The Crow was very 90s, but had some type of heart there.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's an average movie, to be really honest, but it's a classic because it needs to be a classic because of what it encapsulated at that time. But still, you can't do this dark storyline no more and get away with it. And I think Batman vs. Superman was the prime example of that. But that being also said, it was just a poorly written movie. You know what I mean? That was just a poorly written movie. So the question I had half the time watching this was, okay, so Wonder Woman is a go. Aquaman's a go. Henry Cavill's not coming back. The likely Ben Affleck's not coming back. Like you said just now, Shazam. So is DC...
and Flash is on the back burner right now because we don't know what the fuck is going on with that movie.
I don't think that's ever going to be made, to be honest with you. So a lot of this in limbo, and then we're seeing clips of the new Joker movie, which I am for DC saying that it's not connected to nobody. I'm fine. I'm fine with that
it's
being
very
the same.
standalone. Very standalone.
And this goes for Marvel and DC. Well, both of these companies trying to do this back and forth of a universe. That's a change of pace.
Oh yeah.
Like, it's not connected. It's just a story about Jack Napier. Cool. I'm fine with that.
Which looks like it takes place in the universe, going by the looks of it.
This because where were they filming in Chicago?
It looks like it. It really does. It really looks like this is like, is this Joker's dad or is this Joker before he became crazy? All right,
whatever. That's the whole thing, man. We're so because we're so accustomed to these universes now, not just with the Marvel universe, with with the former Netflix universe. I'm sorry, it still catches me off guard. Everybody got the axe on that one, man. Punisher is clearly sitting in the trees while the fucking SS unit rolls in trying to kill off everything.
And that's the part before we get into Aquaman. It's just, that's the sad part. It's just like Netflix was like, well, fuck you, Disney. You're doing your own streaming service. We don't need y'all shit anymore. And then Daredevil and fucking Daredevil, Punisher, and all of them is like fucking homeboy in Pulp Fiction, where he's looking around like, what's going on?
I mean, here's the thing, that when Daredevil got the axe, that's when I'm like, it's official.
Yeah. Now, Daredevil didn't get axed. It's like, well, I guess nobody really liked fucking Luke Cage and Iron Fist then. Well, fuck.
That's what I'm saying. I still like that too. Like, Iron Fist getting it, whatever. And the part of me just gonna be real. Look, I'm like, Luke's getting it next, and I was right. Daredevil. What?
That's like if the Patriots just right now said, "Hey, Tom Brady, we no longer lead your services." You go, what? What's going on here?
It's like we're not even done yet, man. At least let me do one more season to wrap up the story. Nothing. So, like I said, we're accustomed to that universe. We're accustomed to DC's television universe getting here. We're accustomed to everything connecting. So when you have something like Joker that's going to be standalone, that's going to be interesting. I love to see what they're doing. Just seeing Joaquin Phoenix run, making me think, no, because I know how everybody feels. We're like this. Oh, this movie better not suck, because I think this thing is going to be great, or it's going to be like, wow, that was a waste of time.
Yeah, here's the thing.
Like, I already feel it.
Here's the thing. We're here to talk about,
because I know it's going to be good. But if we go in there and it sucks, oh shit.
Man, it's like, buckle up, folks. This is Joker.
Man, I can't wait to hear this review for 3 Geeks. It sucks. Can't believe it sucks.
Now, here's the thing.
Phoenix just say, I'm just going to mug at the camera for an hour and 7 minutes. That's what the fuck happened. Like, yeah, I know, right?
It's crazy.
The acting was bad. Okay, Joaquin wasn't all the way. Yeah, he was bad.
Now, here's the thing, folks.
So anyway.
So Aquaman, when they announced it, and we saw Momoa in the Justice League movie and all that stuff. Now, Aquaman is a bit of a conundrum because I read, D reads more DC than I do, but I still have knowledge of DC and it's mainly based on the cartoons that kind of made me start reading back up on the comics and stuff, like the Justice League cartoon, the Batman anime series, and basically the Paul Bruce Timm cartoon universe kind of shit, right? So Aquaman was in this bit of a bubble because Super Friends didn't do him any fucking favors. Let's just be real about this.
And the comic in the 90s didn't do him no favors either.
Well, up until Peter David's run, which
they had stories. They had good stories, and yes, it changed to a more of a serious tone, but it didn't do him no favors.
Hook hand had the beard. When he got the like I said, when Peter David did the run and he had the hook hand. Oh shit! This is
the hook hand.
Oh, what you say?
The hook hand and the beard to me helped. It helped, but I don't think nobody gave a shit.
Well, it's. He's had 4 different types. He had 4 different. He had multiple origins. Like, if you look at, I want to say it's either the Silver or Golden Age, where he was just some dude that lived underwater, and he somehow got powers because that's what you do in the fucking. I'm getting my ages mixed up because I want to say Bronze Age. Was Bronze Age like basic 70s and the 80s, basically?
I don't know. Look, dude. I don't know.
All I know is the old school Aquaman, when he first debuted, he was just some dude that was underwater and had those powers.
I can talk to dolphins.
Yeah, and it's like it's so many different variations, and I think when Bruce Timm brought Aquaman into the cartoons, and I'm just gonna be frank here, that origin show, it basically was like, oh, he's the guy that can speak to animals, and they made him very serious and stuff. But I always sat there and said that even with what Bruce Timm did with Aquaman in the show, not too many people remember. They remember more of the Super Friends than what Bruce Timm did, which is unfortunate because I see what Bruce Timm and them were trying to do with Aquaman to kind of get that character back in the front hold and stuff. And don't get it twisted, I love what they did with him in Brave and the Bold. He was fucking hilarious. That was like classic, like Aquaman, like happy-go-lucky, ha-ha.
You know what the problem with DC at the time with that age was that they all kind of mimic Batman in the way of, I'm the superhero. This is my young ward. Definitely not a young boy I touched. It's always like that. I think really what happened for Aquaman, that he is like, everybody makes fun of him. Come on, the Robot Chicken special, who does DC favors, does so many favors by making all the DC characters hilarious, made fun of Aquaman. They make fun of Aquaman constantly. Teen Titans Go is the only guy that's soft when it comes to Aquaman, but they still make fun of him. Yeah, like they make fun of Aqualad. So they do. So it's still kind of. I think it's just because it lacks so much seriousness until the 2000s, where you see Justice League and you see this nigga with a hook hand, no shirt, long hair, looking like Lars off of fucking looking like Lars off of fucking Metallica and shit. Yeah. You know what I mean? You're
like, oh, dope. And on top of that,
guess what? A lot of people still didn't take that seriously.
Yeah, it was like, and it's unfortunate because, like I said, I love the Brave and the Bold, because shout out to what's his face that voiced Bender, because he voiced Joe DiMaggio voiced Aquaman in that show, and I fucking love that interpretation of it because they played up on this swashbuckling, like, ha ha, I'm married, I'm Aquaman, and he's just happy to be Aquaman, and I love that. It's just it was just like, yo, they leaned into him just being happy and this. Like, hey, I love. They made him a joke, but it wasn't a joke at the expense of the character. If that makes sense.
I think if anything, the person that we can thank, at least for the last 8 years of Aquaman and comic book, we can thank Jeff Johns. Woo. Jeff Johns found a way in the Justice League in New 50. New 52 was a lot of things. Okay, let's just be real. New 52
some good, some bad.
Oh, thing. I thought the only few things that were good were, to me, was half of the Batman comic, Deathstroke, Sinestro, the Justice League comic, 44% of the Wonder Woman comic, and trust me, if you read Wonder Woman, you know exactly what I mean. Mm-hmm. Greg Pak's run of Superman, and Aquaman's whole entire run.
Because they revamped it.
Yeah. Aquaman's whole run, much like Aquaman's whole run, Sinestro and Deathstroke, to me, knocked it out the park. Well, the Flash wasn't that bad. I think the Flash New 52 wasn't that bad to me. Yeah. It got kind of confusing right at the tail end when they were, right before, what was that, Resurgence or what the hell? Convergence, yeah. Right before Convergence hit, Flash was good, and all of a sudden it just tripped on its feet. Irony. But, yeah. So I think you see, at least in the comic book form, you give a crap about he's respected and all the rest of that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You know how powerful he can be and all and that, and a lot of that went into this movie and the writing and all the rest of that. Now, granted, how are you going to convert that when you got the biggest, one of the most happiest, luckiest actors in Hollywood right now? Jason Momoa is on a high that we don't understand, okay? He's on a high that he got multiple kids. He's banging out his boyhood crush. Mm-hmm. On top of that, the niggas was like, all I had to do was say a language that didn't exist on Game of Thrones. Celebrity, bro. like everything fell into his lap. And to give Jason his credit, he's riding with it. He is riding, yo. So how the hell do you make that dude Aquaman? They did it.
I mean,
he owned it.
He
owned it. That's really what he did. He owned it.
And that's the thing. It's like with this. So this origin, it's basically was his dad and the Queen of Atlantis. They got together and stuff. And
Atlantis.
Yeah.
I oh God. I was like, I don't understand how this like now. First off, that story is so corny and I ignore it anyway. No, when I say corny, it's comic book, okay?
Yeah,
I can accept it in the comic book. I accept it and I'm saying it. Oh, what, you think I'm not going to comment on how corny it is? It's corny. It's so stupid.
And it's like,
she walked see, he nursed her back to health. And that somehow got her to bang him. I don't know. Whatever. Hey, love is crazy. I don't know what to tell you.
And because she had obligations in Atlantis, she decided to go down to Atlantis and cool things out. And while she had Arthur on the surface, she performed down in Atlantis and stuff. So Orm has a half brother, with Arthur, and they played up kind of like if you guys ever watched. I think it took me watching the second time before it clicked in my head. As much as this film feels like 3 movies combined into one, they really basically took the Justice League Throne of Atlantis cartoon, stripped the Justice League out, changed some elements of what characters were doing in that cartoon, and basically made a live action version of it, and that's basically what this movie is.
Yeah, it did. There was a lot of questions coming into this movie for me. And one of them was like, okay, the second we saw Nicole Kidman walk out on stage when we was at Comic-Con, I was telling myself, I'm sorry, who are you playing again? Oh, I'm sorry, what? Wait. All right, look. I hate, because it always bothers me when I see a man of color and the mom is white or the dad is white. I'm like, where's the brown? Okay.
And then we saw Jango Fett as his dad.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, exactly. Then we saw his dad. I was like, wait a minute, nigga, ain't you Maury? Huh? So a New Zealand dude and an Australian woman bang. Yeah, that don't make Jason Momoa. I'm not even serious.
I perfectly see it
now.
Which is funny.
Always bugs me though. For real, this is personal, dude. That always bugs me when I see that, man.
Here's what I loved about the movie, though. Now, for us as black people and stuff, and you laugh and stuff, you probably notice in these movies too, whenever they do mixed kids, particularly when it came to black people, black girls in particular, I hate how they fuck up on the shading of black girls, because that last movie that came out about the adult thing where everybody had like powers and they were like different colors and stuff, Homegirl that was the lead character, when they cut to when she was a kid, she was dark skinned.
Yeah, I will always forever hate Hollywood doing that. It's a rush job because I'm kid. Good enough.
Yeah, and I hate that shit. So I was happy that the fact that they kept up with the fact that every person that played Arthur when he was like 9 years old and Arthur when he was a teenager, they kept up the Polynesian aspect to part of him. And I was like, all right, that's cool. Even down to the tattoo on his arm and stuff. And I was like, all right, cool. Nice continuity.
We're talking about my godson. His mom, his dad is white. His mom is black. He got them little curly curls like that. I'm like, Polynesian nigga and some white woman will make that same kind of baby. Yeah, all right, I'm cool with this. And then I see him as a teenager. I bet, and it worked. It worked. I like that too. That was a good audition.
But
I think it was weird in this movie also that. It was one thing that we all was wondering, because we're fucking dorks. How are they going to connect this to Justice League?
Very easy, very easy. You the guy that fought Steppenwolf. Yeah, I am. That was it. We're done.
Yeah, it was basically like, because it was basically what was funny, and I liked the nice nod. Arthur never asked about Mara's name in Justice League. He just knew.
He never did.
He knew he had an idea of Atlantis, but in his head, it was just like, I don't fucking care about Atlantis. Like, he cared about me. And I like that movie dived into the fact of, they never liked my mom, so why the fuck do I care about Atlantis now?
Yeah, and I was telling him, it was so funny. Angie was like, so what trident did they give him down there? Oh, like, trident when he gave him, no, he got his mom's trident. One of the things is, look, I know who my mom is, nigga. So, I already know what this is all about. You can breathe down here. Yeah, I can breathe down here. Give me the trident.
Now, what was cool was like a lot of people, and I saw some of us were like talking offline about. Some of them felt that the way they made Aquaman, it was too much like Aqua Bro. And I think James Wan had mentioned the fact that when he got onto this movie, what he wanted to do was, instead of bringing Aquaman to Momoa, he wanted to bring himself to Aquaman.
Yeah, it makes a lot more sense. Trust me, it makes.
And I get how some people might think that's a betrayal. Yeah,
but it makes Aquaman as the character, even the comic book character himself, it makes him more relatable. One of the reasons why I like Jon Stewart, but I can't stand him, is that he's a Marine. That's also the reason why I can't stand him. Dude, have an emotion.
I mean, he's very much a stick up his ass. And I mean, as somebody that's in the military, I can see why he's like that, because there are certain people in the military that do fouls to the T and have a stick up their ass. And so I get that aspect of it.
Even in the cartoon. Yeah, he's a cool character. Everybody loves Jon Stewart. He's so straight-laced.
Yeah.
Because real talk, I was gonna be real, Sean. If my ex-girlfriend, kind of ex-girlfriend, walked into there wearing that type of dress and she talking trash, I would have banged the living crap out of her.
And that's why him and
actually, it wasn't until Batman walked on. Good, I stopped you two from doing something stupid.
I mean, it's kind of like how it's why that relationship with him and Hawk Girl worked, because they were both from a military background. So it's like, they understood each other.
But the great thing about Hawk Girl, the thing about the writing, shout out to Tim, more McDuffie and Paul Dini on this.
Yeah.
But the reason why that worked is because they were both, like you said, militaristic. Hawk Girl eventually said, "Fantastic penis."
Hey, look. After
I want it. You know what? I'm here on Earth. I'm gonna go for it. I want it brown and long. What you doing, John?
Hey, look. Side note: before we get back to Aquaman, it's amazing that all it took was Hawk Girl and John fighting her ex in that episode for them to get together. I was like, huh. So they had to.
This is what happens. This is what happens when an alpha male fights a Marine who's actually more of a beta male. The beta Marine is always going to win.
hey, John needed that assist from Hawk Girl, and it worked. So it's like, hey,
that's what I'm saying. Like this is exactly what happens with a beta male Marine fights an alpha male. That always is you a pussy ass military dude. You ain't gonna do nothing. Then he put you like in a crossface chicken wing.
Now the thing of it is, like I said, James Wan made Momoa bring himself to Aquaman. Some people might say that's betrayal, and I get it. But like I said, going to why I said this movie drew its inspiration from, and I think I was talking to Prime about this. It felt like it took a little bit of Peter David's, Hook Hand Aquaman, where he's like this loner type thing, and they played up the old aspect of him being this lighthearted. I fucking love being Aquaman, and this power is awesome. And I'm like, yeah, I can see that and stuff, because you're not gonna get the stoic king of Atlantis off from jump. You're not.
Oh no, you're not. I think if we added more in this, you had to make him somewhat human and somewhat relatable. You had to, because he was, of all the people in Justice League, there were only two people that didn't want their powers and that didn't want to deal with this in Justice League, and that was Cyborg and all. And just so happened they finally they convinced him, because I'll be just like Arthur too.
Yeah,
got dressed like a bat. All right, I'm in.
Now, what was
I would be just like him. I would just like it. And of course, we already knew the sad story with Cyborg, but you had to, in order for the audience to, and that's it's kind of funny that people are complaining about that to me. I want to say it's more the DC people, because I remember years ago, people on both aisles killed for a character like this in DC. So it's kind of shocking that we are getting people, it's a betrayal. I get it. I mean, I get it. Like you, I get it, but come on, dog.
I mean, it's kind of like with Green Lantern, the movie, right? It felt like Ryan Reynolds, Hal Rayner, than Hal Jordan.
Or he's just throwing it out there. Could just let Ryan Reynolds be Ryan Reynolds.
It felt that way in the movie. It felt like eventually the movie was like, fuck it, Ryan, do what you want. It's like, fine.
It felt like everything. Anyway,
but here's the kicker. So Momoa, I thought he was fine as Arthur Curry and stuff. Now, Amber Heard as Mira. It was hard for me to kind of buy into them being like a love interest a little bit.
Okay, yeah, you know what? I agree. I wanted to disagree with that. Kissed them in the third act. I thought it was warranted. It made sense.
Well,
because a lot of shit has happened.
The battlefield is just is hot and heavy, so it's like, all right, I guess we're not going to see
yeah.
Let's go. All
right, nigga, this baby do this, so I'm just gonna be real with you. You a hell of a nigga, so all right, I got reason. Let's fight.
Yeah, but you know what I thought it was going to do? I thought they were going to play it up on like kind of slow building to that, like, hey, she's standing by his side because she sees something in him, and I thought they were going to play it up. So I didn't buy them having a love connection, and maybe as they do these movies, they'll like strengthen that aspect of it. But it didn't take me out the movie where I'm like, well, this is bullshit.
It didn't take the reason why they had to, and it's one of the reasons why I liked Amber Heard in this role, was the fact that Mira to me is and I mean this in all of comics, she is one of the most competent women in all of comics. Queen Mira is a number one you not fuck with. And if you do fuck with her, she got all types of magic you can have.
Which makes me sad that in that Flashpoint cartoon, Wonder Woman washed her, and I was like, that's bullshit. Movie.
All right, look. All right. I'm sorry, this may be D's dick talking, but yeah, she's gonna get washed. I'm just gonna be real, Diana, that hoe, nigga.
Hey, look. I'm not knocking Arthur for getting with Wonder Woman, because I mean Superman was about to bang her out in Justice League War too, so it's like I get it. At the same time, I was like, fuck.
You know what? It was already over when Wonder Woman was like washing her sword and Mira came in there looking all mad. I already knew you already knew what Diana was like. All right, man, like, I hear you, bitch. So you trying to do this shit? It's a little water Kamehameha you got. I'm ready for it.
You can either be satisfied that I'm the side chick and you can continue being the family lady, or B, we can just scrap. Take your pick. All right.
Real talk, the dick wasn't even that good. If you want to fight, fine.
I mean, your husband looked like Brock Lesnar, but I mean, cool, I guess.
I'm like, yo, they did kind of pump up Aquaman to be super big.
Again,
at least
that was one instance.
In the animated movie they did. In the animated movie.
That was one instance where I was like, that was very unnecessary, because it just that was the movie trying to say, hey, take Aquaman seriously. I'm like, you didn't have to make him look like Brock Lesnar.
It kind of was, man. But, whatever. But come on, all the Flashpoint was depressing. And so you had to, it had to be, you had to make, no, but look, Flashpoint is like, I'm dead serious, still my favorite DC animated movie, but good God, is it depressing.
Oh, look.
It is so sad.
They somehow made Superman depressing when he came to, like, look. They made Superman looking like a fucking critic body size. And he's all like, friend, as he slices fucking Aquaman's hand off of his laser beam. I'm like, wow.
Oh my God. And then you saw Cyborg get ripped apart by fucking Zoom. By fucking Zoom, man.
But hey, guys, if you hate Michael B. Jordan, you probably were laughing. So it balances out, Yeah,
I know, right? It kind of balanced out, didn't it? Then everybody blew up. Thank God, I'm serious, man. That ending for that movie was so uplifting.
Me as a Grifter fan was just laughing but sad at the same time that he just got arrowed to death by the Amazonians. I was like, fuck.
Grifter. Hey, look. I got to be honest with you. When I saw Grifter, I'm like, I'm sorry, Grifter.
And you forget he's DC. It's like, it's DC. Fuck.
I know, man. And then when you see him die, here's me. Well, you know what, Griff? You made it and nobody else a Wildstorm. So you know what? In my opinion, you won.
But anyway, so
look, because that's how I feel about both. Because I feel about Young Justice, Icon, and Rocket. Wait. Anybody else from Milestone here? Nobody.
Actually, third season. They put Hardware in it.
Yeah, I know Hardware is going to be in it. I know what's is going to be in it too.
They put Static. Rocket
and Static,
Static and Hardware. Even though Static was in season 2, but still, yeah,
Static was in season 2. But still, when I saw Icon the first time, like, whoa, who let you in here?
Then you saw that thing where there was like, yeah, Icon. I thought he was Kryptonian, but he's actually a cool guy. And it's like, interesting.
Yeah, I was Superman. I thought I had to put hands on the dude, man. And again, okay, Hotep dude that reads comics. Yes, man would have washed him.
Anyways, so here's the thing. So I thought, even despite this, taking the love thing out. Back
to Mirror.
But taking the love aspect.
I really.
Go ahead. Go ahead. My bad.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, but I really loved how they made her movie, and not only competent in the movie, but you buy into the fact that she could actually fight on her own, even though.
Hydrokinesis.
even though there was that one scene where she was getting chased. Like, yo, speed it up, Mara. Speed it up. Oh yeah, I forgot you. Then I was like, oh yeah, she a fish. She don't know how to do half the shit.
she's semi parkour. She hasn't quite passed the training.
Yeah. But like I said, I really liked what they did with her, and like Queen Mirror. Like I really mean it. She is one of my favorite female characters in comics, and she did a good job. Man.
And Dolph Lundgren is on a roll this year because Creed 2 he knocked it out the park, and now he's in this movie as Mara's dad. And I thought
I was like, yo, man. So Dolph over here trying to get all the DC money. He was the main baddie he was the main baddie in the flashbacks and Arrow.
And now he's here.
Now he's the Atlantean. Who knew? He's the Atlantean.
But like they used him enough to where it's like, okay, Dolph was fine as King Nereus. It was like, all right, they did. I thought they were going to overuse him because when they announced him, I was like, oh boy, Dolph Lundgren.
I really thought they was going to do way more than that, but thank God they did it. Yeah. So I was like, he playing Mira's father. All right, cool. Oh yeah, Patrick. God, what's his last name?
Wilson.
Patrick Wilson. I don't know if I could say Patrick Edwards for some reason. Yeah, he plays Orin. He plays a pretty decent version of him. I didn't hate him. Yeah. I sympathized with him until the second act.
I like how he emphasized, I will be the Ocean Master. I'm like, movie, I see what you did there.
No, because in the second half, I would say the second act, midway in the second act, where he did that one, where he God, I do not know their names like that.
The Fish King and all that stuff.
The fish, basically the Fish King or where Lagoon Boy came from, Lagoon Boy's people. Yeah. It was so funny when he killed him. Angie beside me, his beard.
Spoilers, D. But yeah.
Come on, man. Come on, look, dude. I'm not even gonna tell you.
At the same time, it's like,
but he's dead. The reason why I know there's a reason behind it. Number one, when he got stabbed, Angie beside me, Neptune's beard. Then when he they killed a bunch of them and just left his daughter alive, right?
Yeah.
And he said, I was sitting there like this. I was like, first off, racist.
Hey, Lucas mentioned it too. I was like, so the fisherman tribe is black, right? I'm guessing so.
I mean, you don't even know you're black. It's just a white man telling the other people, do as I say, or I'll kill you.
That was some colonizer tactics there. That was like,
I know, wasn't it? I know. But actually, when you think of Ocean Master was trying to do that in the first place. Speaking of which, I went into this saying to myself, this helmet is going to look goofy as shit. He put the Ocean Master helmet on. Chris? Excellent.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Excellent. I thought that mask was going to look so stupid. It worked.
Well, when I saw it, I was like, thank you, movie. Thank you. And in fact, I would say he wore the Ocean Mask way more than Loki wore the fucking horn mask.
Thank you.
I was like, thank you. Cool.
Because Ocean Master, and granted it's a comic, but Ocean Master, at least every time you see him, 75% of the time that helmet is on his head.
Yeah, and like that was the thing, the dynamic with Orm and Aquaman and Arthur, because Orm ultimately at the same time, at one point he's literally telling Arthur, hey, look, dog, look, I just hate you because I wish my mom knew, but the fact that you're kind of our next in line on the throne, I don't like that shit. But I'm willing to let you go and don't come back.
Look, dog, your people's on the surface. I see you flying around with that Superman. It's a guy, but go ahead.
and I thought their dynamic worked. It was like, I get why Orm hates him and stuff, but it wasn't on some like, it's like, I know this. It probably isn't a leap here, and I say this as a person that loves the MCU. I felt Orm and Arthur's fight at the end was way stronger than Thor and Loki's fight at the end of Thor 1.
Oh God, Thor 1. It's a funny thing. Even much as I like the third act fight in this one and in Justice League, I have problems with third acts in comic book movies.
It was slightly better than Wonder Woman's third act. I mean,
let me make this very clear. Justice League cooks Wonder Woman's third act. I'm being real. Bad CGI at all. That and Justice League was actually all right.
Look,
Wonder Woman. That was it.
But see, that's the thing. It's like the emotional thing with Steve and Diana was awesome in the third act, but like past that, it's like what the fuck was that with Ares and Wonder Woman? What was that?
Granted, it took the Justice League at least 4 minutes to get to where Steppenwolf was at, but when they got there, shit happened.
Wonder Woman was just like, Steve sacrificed himself, okay, emotional, but what was that?
Yeah. Now you got to fight Ares, which a lot of people, and I know a lot of y'all love Wonder Woman, love that movie, and want to pry heaven. You're still allowed to, but much like when I have to talk to that person that loves Batman Returns way too much. Let's talk about that last act, and then tell me about your love.
Now, Aquaman's third act.
It's better than Justice League's. It's better. Ooh, it's actually better than Civil War for me. And I'm picking the latest ones. Of course, look, we're not going to do Infinity War. We're not going there. That's a whole different tone, man. But because that third act in Infinity War, good God, was it confusing, but at the same time, holy shit.
Hey, look, Thanos putting hands on everybody, just like what? Yes.
Thanos leaving for that planet, going to Earth to kick niggas' asses.
Listen,
was one of the most amazing things ever.
The fact that they were like, "Hooray, we beat them!" and then it's like, "Hey guys, don't celebrate because you got Thanos." It's like the final boss is like, "Hey, you got Sigma, guys. Don't fucking celebrate and shit." That's what Thanos was. It was like. Yeah.
The second the third act started so well. The second you see Thanos walk through that portal, I'm like, this shit's going down.
It went slow motion, and it's like, oh, Thanos about to put hands, bye. And yo, that was the moment where I was like, hey, Steve, you might want to, go on ahead and prep to see your homegirl in heaven right now, because Thanos is about to murder us. You're done.
The third act, then Aquaman did a lot of stuff right. I thought it did.
It was a massive ocean war. It's what it looked straight out of the comics. It was like, oh shit. And side note, they're fighting the crab people, and I laughed so hard.
Crab people. Look, he said, like, I will give it up to him. It was a good line. No, you will call me Ocean Master. I was like, you deserve that, because it was deserved. It was one of those things like, no, don't call me just this. No, bitch, I'm your king.
But it's peak.
You calling me the Ocean Master?
But it's peak Orm.
I gave it to him.
It's peak Orm, because Orm is just like, fuck it, I'm gonna take what I want. Fuck this shit.
Orm is a little more like, I hate it when people try to compare him to Loki in the sense to downplay him compared to Loki. They're two different characters. Orm is more of, I have a birthright, god damn it.
Yeah. My brother's also, half human.
Friends. Yeah. Also, I got friends that believe in me. God damn it. Loki is like Donald is a Donald Trump character to me. He fits upward. It's like Loki has taken so many L's, and yet is still alive.
He's petty. He's on his petty tip. He's like, yo, I will find ways to try to get back at Thor.
And then you find out, like, I thought it was they did a real on Ragnarok where, oh yeah, God, this is much better than, much better, because I actually like the third act in Ragnarok.
Yeah.
I think what it was, I didn't like the final fight in Ragnarok. That's probably what it was. Yeah. But still, I thought the fight between Aquaman and Orm was pretty damn good. It's not spectacular, but I think spectacular fight scenes are supposed to fit a certain movie. You are supposed to fit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if you're going to a super action-packed back and forth battle, then goddamn it, earn it. Number one.
Yeah.
You have to earn it. And number two, I'm just going to be real with you. This is a DC movie. Oh, it got to be Batman versus Deathstroke if you're going to go all out.
I mean, and that's the thing. It's like, when you see Arthur roll out there in the fucking classic comic book outfit, and you see him fighting Ocean Master in all his fucking bells and whistles, it's like, oh shit, this is like fucking yes.
And I was telling that to the wife. I was like, they nailed it. They nailed for both of them. And my wife was like a lot of people. Aquaman suit. I like, okay, yes, I get it. I get it too.
I mean, look,
But
if this was
if
DC
we're
of
gonna-
old, they would have gave you the Injustice shit and told you to suck it, basically.
look, yeah, look, it's like to me, oh god, the Justice one looks so ugly. But
Yeah, I know, right?
but still, the way it looked, like if you was going to tell me you were going to give him the classic green and gold, I would have said it looked way uglier than this, and they did it. And I'm sitting there looking at it like they fucking nailed it.
Yeah.
You can't make it look better than that. Yeah. Seriously, you really can't. That looked good. It was shiny and all the rest of that. The way it's good. It's good. It's not like some skin suit. Like, that's what it really was. We thought it was going to be like, you know how Amber Heard looked like wearing that little suit that Mirror had.
Yeah, the Mirror one. Yeah.
Yeah, we expected that to look like that. I think everybody was thinking like, God, the Aquaman one's going to just like that, and the fin on the arm, on the gloves are going to look stupid. That's the best you're going to do. You made it look like
we saw
armor.
that at San Diego Comic-Con, and we were like, oh shit, they went for it.
But still, of course, I'm sitting there like, how's this going to look when you do it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but seeing it in action, I'm like, yo, so it's not only is it something, it's armor. Number one, it's more armor than you realize. Mm-hmm. And it matches. It looks good. I have nothing against it. I really don't. I was shocked in that one scene when you saw him and Orm face to face. I was like, bruh.
now, here's the thing too that was cool. Before we get into one of the characters that I really want to talk about, Kevin Smith and Scott, they fun of a particular scene that happened in Justice League with Mera and Arthur talking underwater, where they put they went into like a bubble and they were talking, and Kevin Smith was like, if all of Aquaman is like that, that's going to be bad, and that made me. I'm like, in Justice League, they didn't talk in the water. Like, she had to go into a bubble, and I was like, and I was really kind of like fearing, like, how the fuck is James Wan going to do this? And he made it work.
Yeah, they made it work. But I think what happened at Justice League, that was a combination of they didn't have a real good idea of how they were going to make the world look like. Number one,
yeah,
and number two, the rules weren't there yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For you to the rules weren't there as far as how they had Arthur go down there and all the rest of that. So if anybody had reservations on, thinking like, oh, this is not going to look good. Totally understand it. Yeah. I totally understand it because that was a weird looking scene when you look at it, man.
Oh yeah.
So yeah. But as far as everybody, the one thing I liked was they did the thing with the hair. You could make it tell like they're still in the water and all the rest of that. Even though there was some stuff they were doing like, okay, look, I know they're in the water and they're like superhuman and they can move fast, but shut up, I'm not stupid. That would be life, but whatever. You let it go because it's a comic book, of course.
Yeah.
So whatever, man. A lot of it was good.
But the coup de grace of this, the one character that I was really like, I hope they nail it, Black Manta.
Brother. Now,
Yahya Abdul-Mateen.
Tell you when we get off when we get off this, when we done with this thing, I will tell you how I feel about what part. But yeah, they did that pretty well too, man. No spoiler because you're going to know it's a spoiler. The second I saw Michael Beach, I said, "How long, nigga?"
That's all you need to know. Is like, well, let's see how this goes. But
when he died, I'm not going to tell you how he died or whatever. But when he died, I turned to my phone. Damn, that's how he went out. And Angela's like, "What? You thought he was going to live? No. I knew he was going to die. I had him going where he's like, looks like we made it. I had that happening.
I mean, it's basically the new 52 Black Manta origin. Basically, that's all it really is.
Yeah, it really is. And I still, like I said, that's another conversation for another time about how the mantas work in any capacity. I always took them as mercenaries, and then they're underwater people. It's like I need to whatever. Anyway.
But the look of him, like when we saw it at San Diego, I was like, oh shit, they did it. But when you see how he gets to that point, I think D said it best. It's like, oh, just like a fucking damn nigga. Of course, do that shit. Of course, he's gonna do that.
So, look, all right, I'm not going to tell you the setup, but when he gets all the stuff he needs to get to be Black Manta, he does the blackest thing ever. I'm gonna freak this.
Yeah, it's like, because like the thing about what I loved about in this movie is like his beef with Aquaman, it makes sense because again, Black Manta is the most pettiest of fucking villains that you know and stuff. And just like when he fights Arthur, it's evil and stuff, whether it's from the time they start and then as the movie progresses and they fight again. That's why I feel the movie feels like it's 3 movies into one, because you could really do a movie by itself with just Arthur fighting Black Manta the whole way. But I think for what they had to do in this film, he worked as kind of like an auxiliary villain. Like, we'll see you next time, Black Manta, you know, and whatever.
Even the way he went out, you could probably tell, oh, he ain't done.
Oh, yeah. And I'm thankful for how they did that, too, because I was like, man, I hope they don't fucking kill him, and then that's it. Come on. Like, that's stupid.
I will tell you, like I said, I will tell you how I feel when I saw it. Because, oh, God. Look, that's a spoiler if I let it go, because I'm not just going to talk about it one part. I'm going to talk about what led up into that. But the fight between those two was pretty damn good. Arthur does get fucking hit a bunch of times throughout this movie. It ain't like he's unstoppable. He's not at all, man. He
flexes all his powers. He is bulletproof to an extent. You know, they do show the degrees of powers.
It's not as awkward like that in the Nolan Batmans, where when Batman gets punched in the head, it was like, oh my God, it doesn't look that bad.
Yeah, it's like, you know, the movie, and I always say this with any movie and stuff, it's like I want to show power levels and stuff and how they are, because I think, and that was the weird thing about Aquaman and Justice League. I never got really a good idea of where he set at power wise, because we know Superman is like the fucking king dingaling of fucking power sets. Fine, right? And it was hard to get.
We get that.
And it was hard for me to establish it, because it's like, we know Wonder Woman is strong. I know Aquaman is strong, but it's like, but I know he isn't getting washed by Superman to that extent. And it's like, it was hard for me to kind of get a gauge. And I think this movie, for the most part, did a good idea of what Aquaman can get hit by, and he'll be fine, and what he can get hit by. And it's like, okay, he might be down for a couple of seconds.
That's up in Justice League. They really didn't show Arthur and a different Aquaman doing anything different outside of, like, you know, up to that point to even display a lot of strength. You know what I mean? Yeah. You knocking over a few goons, we can believe that no matter what, but we don't know the extent of your power. So they didn't really do that. That's straight up. They didn't do that well in the movie, and the way they redeemed it is through this movie. You got to see multiple times.
Pick up damn sub like it ain't nothing. Like, oh, okay. Cool.
I mean, I didn't know he can do that. I was like, okay, well, that's how we starting off this movie. This nigga shoulder blocking the living shit out of a fucking sub. All right, cool.
Yeah,
so you get to see all that off the break, man. I thought Willem Dafoe was good for what he was doing, for what he was there.
He felt like the Ian McShane of this movie. Just the fact that he's the mentor of Curry, so he's like giving all these like advice and stuff. Because, you know, Ian McShane did that in the John Wick movies. Whenever he meet John, like, hey John, you know, this is what you should do, X, Y, and Z. So
I don't know. Actually, I think in John Wick, Ian McShane is more of just the old guy. If you knew somebody that ran to 7-Eleven and you seen them walk in, or you walk in and you're a constant customer of that 7-Eleven, you're eventually talk to the nigga. That's the way I always felt about Ian McShane.
Yeah, you're right. You're
like, right. Hey, John.
No, my bad. But I like Willem Dafoe.
But I know what you mean. I know what you're trying to say, though.
Yeah,
but
he played his role right. He was perfectly fine. He didn't go over the top. He played very tame Willem Dafoe. He was the mentor.
I do like the fact that they had this one scene, and it's basically Willem Dafoe's staff, and I'm sitting there the whole time like, okay, look, Willem, I love you. That's CGI, isn't it? God, that was so hard for me to say, because I really do. As creepy looking as Willem Dafoe looks, and he does, Willem Dafoe is an incredible actor. I love him. So it was great to see him in the movie.
Now, I gotta ask you this. So, and this is something that was kind of interesting to me. So it kind of goes into what you were saying about Zack Snyder's ideas and stuff. So Zack Snyder, when they first announced Momoa as Aquaman and stuff, he really played up Aquaman and entailed Momoa's like tattoos that he had, his tribal tattoos and stuff, and he kind of implemented that on Aquaman, and it felt like it didn't bother me and stuff. It was just kind of one of those things I saw somebody kind of mention, and it didn't really dawn on me till they mentioned it, and I was like, oh, that's right. Snyder was trying to incorporate his like aspect to Aquaman, and I don't know if James Wan didn't want to lean into that in this first movie, I guess. But like for you, was that something that bothered you, or was it just kind of like whatever?
All right. All right. Interesting that you said that Zach was for that because I didn't know that. Number one,
Yeah,
and that's a good thing actually because one of the reasons is one of the reasons why I was really for Jason Momoa being Aquaman because you had somebody who wasn't white do it, and you know me how I am when it comes to people of color. I mean people of color, people who are not of European descent. You know what I mean? That's how I feel. Even though that's half Jason Momoa, but still, you like I always wanted to like if you're going to get somebody who's Polynesian or somebody who is from Asian like Malaysia or whatever they are. If you're going to get that person, please have their background affect that character. Don't give me a black dude who's clearly from the hood and have him talk white the entire time. Mm-hmm. Don't give me. I mean, when I say talk white, not even just, but doesn't have the afflictions that black men have. Like if something goes down in the movie, he's just going to be like, all right. It doesn't feel authentic to me. So if that was a thing they abandoned in the movie, nothing's lost. But at the same time, I would love to see what he did because I love the idea of Aquaman being Polynesian. Period. Anyway, to be honest with you,
to see if Atlantis is racist, like
not even that. Not even so much. Here's the thing. And it's not even against white people, but it's like white people in the ocean. Of course, there's going to be white people in the ocean. You mean to tell me ain't none of them niggas like blue, brownish, color? They're their skin tone match with the water. You know what? Fuck it. I'm thinking too hard about it. But that's what I'm saying. I dig the idea of if you had it my way, the lighthouse that they found him in, like in the middle of like America Samoa. His name would be Arthur Apapichu or some shit like that. Arthur Palomalu or some shit like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But regardless of that, I did not know that. That's kind of cool. That's what I'm talking about with Snyder. He has ideas. Ain't like the nigga's stupid, but good God, it's the execution. It's like my son. Like, Dad, I got this good idea what I'm going to do in a video game. Thanks, son. Good. Now do it. And he loses off the break. Well, son, try again.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't bother me, but, somebody mentioned it. I was like, I don't know. Maybe, and I know, a lot of people, and again, because of how DC did with their previous movies and stuff, I know a lot of people are skeptical on if whatever issues they might have with this movie, if they're going to correct it in the next movie and stuff, and I get that. I just think that I get why DC is kind of moving away from the Snyder stuff because that whole idea just wasn't executed to the extent that they wanted it to be. So it's like, all right, let's start anew. We're going to do this Wonder Woman thing, and we're going to do this Aquaman thing. And it's like you said, if Henry Cavill really is officially out, then it's like, fuck, what do we do now? Oh, if that's what we're going to do going forward. And I know this is like different than what we're doing with Aquaman, but it is kind of like you got a good setup with Wonder Woman, especially with Wonder Woman 84. It's like, what are we going to do? What are we going to do going forward with Justice League? Or are we just going to pretend that Justice League happened and we're going to kind of like soft reboot it a little bit,
Soft reboot it, man. I really feel like they're going to do a soft reboot where Diana's still there, where Aquaman's still there, and all of a sudden we have a Mexican Superman, and we're like, okay, cool.
It's like Lou Diamond Phillips is Superman.
Nigga, I thought that was Lou Diamond. I was actually surprised Lou Diamond Phillips wasn't Aquaman's dad.
Here's the funny part. Like, I was looking at like some of the cast because you had Randall Park playing Stephen Shin. He's like the biologist and stuff, and he's one of the people that in the comics was trying to find Atlantis and stuff. And I thought it was interesting that they threw him in this movie because especially Randall Park was playing Jimmy Woo in Ant-Man and the Wasp and stuff. And it's like, he's getting his, much like DJ Mahantu, he's getting his Marvel and DC check, so kudos and stuff. And it looks like they might character in the sequel too. Huh?
In this case, he's still getting the George Lucas check too.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. It's like I'm liking the fact that they play up that he might pop up in the sequel, which I'm like, all right, cool. We'll see what you do and stuff. And Homeboy, the Black Ranger and that Power Ranger reboot last year. He played the captain of that the special the Atlantis Special Forces, as I call them, the Atlantis Special Forces and stuff. Which I will say this before we go. It was kind of interesting how the movie kind of picked and chose who could breathe on top of the water and who couldn't. And
look, man, that is one of those ethics I know that cinema sins are going to destroy, and we're going to have a whole lot of smart asses talking about it.
Now, the movie did imply that some people evolved, blah, 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 blah. And maybe that's where it came from. But it was like, okay, I'm not mad at it, but it's just like...
There's no real... Here's my thing. Comic book.
Yeah, that's, you know...
Like good example, I think somebody was complaining about Ant-Man, and as much as I'm not a fan of it, I just slowly turn to them. Comic book.
It's like, this quantum stuff doesn't make sense. It's a
comic book.
On a certain level, like the whole, again, going off tangent a little bit, but like the whole quantum theory that Thor had established in the first movie, I remember somebody saying that the basis of it is true, but everything else is comic booky.
Well, it was like, good example. I think the best example of that you're probably looking for is off the Flash. The Flash constantly have real ideas about time travel and real ideas about quantum physics and all the rest of that.
Yeah.
And of course they're going to have to take book shit because let's just be real. Nobody's running at the speed of light right now. Nobody is doing none of this heroic superhero shit. And to explain it scientifically is nearly impossible. It's nearly impossible without going right up your own ass trying to sound like you're smart. So it's sort of like a difference between science fiction and science fantasy, where in Star Trek they're going to explain to you how the Enterprise can go to all these different places, how the blasters are used like this, and there's actual politics, and that's what everybody loves about Star Trek, the politics between these two people. What about Star Wars? They're bad. We're good. Shoot everybody.
and that's the thing. Note. I'm not going to say who she plays, but when you hear it, you're going to laugh. Julie Andrews is in this movie, and that's all I'll say. Mary Poppins herself is in this movie, and it caught me off guard because I was like, "Is that Julia Andrews?" Huh.
Julie Andrews is still alive, and then now I'm thinking about that scene they did on Family Guy where Lois like, I feel just like Julie Andrews when she breasted that movie, and it went to Mary Poppins like, oh Mary, will you ever see you again? And she showed her top. Those are lovely, but what does that have to do with anything?
Which, side note, I'm one of those assholes that when I watch Mary Poppins Returns, which I'm putting a review out too alongside, I was one of those assholes that saw Dick Van Dyke in Mary Poppins Returns. I was like, holy shit, Dick Van Dyke is still alive? Wow!
Thank you. Spoiler. Now I got to spoil that for my wife because she's going to be mad. I'm telling her. She's like, great, now we got to watch it because my was Dick Van Dyke.
Hey, I saw Dick Van Dyke. I was like, oh shit, he still looks the same from Diagnosis Murder. All right, cool.
Come on, man. He's still making money off that Hallmark channel. Give him like $45 every week for playing that shit. Come on now.
Listen, he plays the old guy from the small town that loves everybody and everything. You can't do no wrong with that.
Whoa. Well, and before I go, is it still a bad English accent?
Depend. Yeah.
Anyway, I can say straight up, 8 out of 10. Very good movie.
Yeah, I was gonna give it 8 out of 10 too and stuff, because
very good movie.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, has issues, obviously, and stuff. And I even go so far as to say, no offense, like Pitbull's fucking Africa remix popped up in this movie. I was like, really, I laughed. I was like, really, movie? We're doing this? Pitbull?
No. Here's my thing. Everybody's saying it's good. I still haven't heard it yet. And you're talking to a person who already doesn't like that song. And I work at a place they played the new Weezer version of that constantly. Mm-hmm. So I gotta hear it now. I have to hear it just to know how it is. Second I heard like, we out there in Africa. I'm like, oh God, really, Pitbull?
That's what I was saying. It's like I heard the movie, I was like, this is one of those instances where I'm just laughing that it's like, yo, Juan, whose idea was this?
Actually, you know what? Juan is like, don't look at me. He looks at the DC producers. Don't guess they're pointing at WB. WB like, we have Warner Brothers music. You think we're not going to use that?
Meanwhile, Pitbull.
You're like this. Be glad we didn't play Wiz Khalifa every 5 seconds.
There you go. There you go. Meanwhile, fucking Pitbull is collecting his fucking check. God damn it, that man collects checks every week.
Pitbull is the better version of Flow Rider to me. But anyway.
Yeah, you know, it really is. Now all of a sudden Flow Rider's gonna whoop our ass because we said Pitbull was better than him. So
What are they gonna do? Make a catchy tune? Come on now. God, he ain't
make a catchy tune that'll have me tapping my feet and then be like, well, good job, Flow Rider.
All right, that's how this nigga stay in business. Whatever. But
anyways, 8 out of 10. It's Aquaman. I think you guys will enjoy it and stuff. So there you go.
It's not the last movie, is it?
I got this. Put that. I know Vice. I'm gonna probably put out next week because that's.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, we did Vice. Sorry. Yeah, for us in terms of movies and stuff. I know probably next time after Vice, maybe the what's the name of that the Room or whatever where
Oh, it's that escape room movie?
Yeah, the escape room shit and stuff. That'll probably be the one we probably catch and stuff. You know, there's that. But anyways, folks, that is it for our little review and stuff. You know, minus spoiler or two, but nothing that's going to take away your enjoyment of the film. Just so go see Aquaman, enjoy it and stuff, and we'll catch you guys later. Peace.
Peace.
There.